Daggy and Beaver are back with you for Show Us Your Tips, powered by Pro Group Racing. And we've got, well, off air, we just said they were two complete messes of cards. But just to fill all the punters with confidence, Beaver, we've got two thick cards of racing to get into this weekend. Plenty of group action. I think there's winners there, but a few of these, I think there's some trick shots to be had as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's certainly some of the earlier races in Sydney were pretty hard to get excited about, but finishes off the card okay. And Moonee Valley got some sprinkling of good races in between, some pretty tough ones to line up the form. But I think there's a few winners in there and a few good horses coming back and resuming, which should still make for a good day of racing.
Oh, it's definitely some good horses. It's just whether they're grand final ready, how far away from that they want to be, who's up and fit. Anyway, we'll
And
talk
how
about all
Moonee
that.
Valley's going to play.
And how Moonee Valley's going to play which. At the moment, the rail's in the true. There's been no irrigation, so they're relying on rain to pop up tomorrow. Was there rain in the AFL? I didn't see any.
There was a little bit of rain
Okay.
earlier in the AFL.
Yeah, so I think Friday's going to be the worst of the rain, so that should put it into the, I guess, the dead in the old range. Other side are good. I'm hoping we can swoop, but obviously we jump at sharks a little bit with how the Valley's come back. But it was well off the rails last time. It was in the true, and I think if any moisture is going to encourage that, so I'm hoping running line's a place to be. We'll see how the afternoon unfolds, and we'll kick off with a 1500 metre open handicap for the 3-year-olds, Beaver, and you may as well bounce the ball.
Yeah, it's only a small field here. I've gone for the top weight at Puglia. Like the way it resumed. Had some decent form prior to that, being placed in a Group 2. But that resumption was pretty good on a softish track. Was very short at $1.10, but won like a $1.10 shot. And I think it's got natural improvement here and can run a bold race.
Yeah, I liked its return as well. Sat outside lead. Now it's pretty arrogant there in the end, albeit a maiden. But 2 seconds to V8 read pretty well in the resume, and most recently gave it a bit of a race as well. So that all stacks up pretty well for a race like this. I do think Autumn Angel's probably a fair enough favourite. That was a nice resumption in maiden grade as well, but they look the most likely to go into better stuff. Now a few of these have been a little bit more exposed, but I'll agree with you. Race 1, number 1 to kick off the program. The second is the usual benchmark 70 over a mile, where we get all these horses thrown into a big pot and try and come up with something. But I do think Place of Gold's going pretty well this prep. I'm going to put it on top. 2 nice runs here, including chasing Reinberg last time out. That form stacked up since. Before that was completely unlucky the time it went to town in that Arran Bay race. Just never got a shot at them. So I think this is a much better race for it from that Swoopers Alley. Hopefully we're in play with that. And it goes on top from me from Sokonon, who over in New Zealand had 2 big mile run wins there fresh last time out. So they were pretty impressive wins. Has come here. The Australian debut wasn't too bad here. Last time out over the shorter distance, chasing Water Deal. Looks ready to go for Oleon, and I'm going to make that the danger. Have you seen this?
Yeah, not a race you get overly excited about. 6-1 the field. I've gone for the 11, the Creator. I think it's just kept improving each run in this time. And I like the way it hit the line last start. Thought that was good and set it up nicely here. 1600 seems to suit. And as you said, running line could be the go.
The third, we get out to the 2040 over at benchmark 70 grade again. Is this any clearer for you?
No, it's not. I think the favourite's a bit skinny, to be honest. So I've gone for looking for a bit more value, and I've come up with number 6, Alor's to Crew. I think it can run really well. It's won its last 2. Can't see why it won't make that 3 in a row. It seems to handle these types of conditions. It's only lightly raced from out of So You Think, and yeah, I think it's going well enough to give this a shake.
Gee, I think it's a big price Pachino here. It's had 2 nice wins at Sandown. Came to Sydney and chased Awesome Wonder. That's better. It wasn't far off. It actually wasn't a bad run in that Sydney race.
It was a
That's
good
better
run.
form than this. Yeah, leading him up, I thought that was a pretty good run here. I know it's back from 2,400, but so is the favourite. And it's $14 here, and you're getting Old Penny on top with a claim as well. I am going to put it on top. I just think it runs much better than the price. I had Alor's to Crois, or however we're going to say it, as the main danger for the same reason you've mentioned. And I may cover on Superstock as well, who's going quite well. But the two best results are going to be the 2 and the 6 from me. I think there's a long tail here, so that's why I've seen it that way. We're getting this little period of these small fields that seem a bit tricky to me. The next is a 1,200 metre open handicap. We've got odds on recommendation. Look, probably should have won first up, but meet some proper horses here, Beaver.
Does,
Hmm?
but I think it's a good horse. It should have won first up, and it does meet some good horses, but I guess speed's going to be the key here. But I just probably see it getting the sit behind Savannah Cloud and Corner Pocket, and that might just mean that it gets last shot. And it's got a significant pull in the weights here, about 5 kilos. A bit more on that. 7 on Corner Pocket, and what do you got? About 4 on the other. So I think that gives it a distinct advantage, and I just think the luck and running might suit it, and it can just peel off and be too strong.
Yeah, I don't like the price. I've got it on top, but I think Buoyant sees a chance. I think Savannah Cloud's very honest and be on pace, and Corner Pocket's a little trier that loves the distance and resumed over the same distance really well last time out. So I just think it's a little short for me. Yeah, whatever that all means. The fifth is the 1,200 metre Group 2 McKenzie Stakes. Good race here, and I'm not as jumping as shadows here. I'm just going to stick solid, and I think simply Steparty's a beast. I think it's a nice horse. I think it's going to resume well here. Gets a good enough run. Shouldn't be is capable of either sitting back or riding the pace. And I would give this horse a chance in a Golden Rose, put it that way. So I'm going to put it on top from a Mer who I thought was quite a good resumption first up, but I think Gate 1 isn't ideal for it again, albeit in a small field here. What have you thought of it?
Yeah, I thought you were 100% right. I thought Steparty was a pretty decent price given the small field and the quality here. I just struggling to see how it gets beat. So clear on top for me, and 250 I think is get on now.
Beauty. The girls' equivalent is the Atlantic Jewel Stakes at listed level over 1,200 metres. Maybe a trickier race here, Beaver?
Maybe trickier race here. Did go through the form and just sort of started to look about what the chances were and where the winner was going to come from. I landed back on Charm Stone. That was an outstanding first up run. Yeah, and it beat a pretty good horse, I think, in Skirt the Law. Both of those horses look like they're going to go on to bigger and better things, and I think this might be a stepping stone for that. I think this is probably an easier field than last start, and again, as long as there's the ability to sort of run on here, I think it'll be hard to beat. Inhibitions, the main danger. That was very good last start. Had the right sit, peeled out, and won nicely. I think it can also run well again.
We'll know track pattern by now. I think if we're swooping, Charmstone's absolutely in the game because that was a lovely resumption. Look, I'm going with my gut here, and it is quite the gut, as you know, Beaver. I
It
think
is.
I think Molly Knickers is a nice horse. I think I don't think we've seen it out of second gear yet. Both runs over winter were very impressive, and Peter Moody hasn't messed around. He's bringing it to a proper race. I am going to back it each way and have it on top from it'll be making its run with Charmstone. From Inhibitions, who should be unbeaten this prep. That was a pretty good win too, second up. And back to the scene of the crumb here. Terrified of Charmstone and obviously goes in everything. And I would also throw Treasure Way into my early quaddy because I think it's trolling up really well this time. But I think the three I've mentioned are all very nice mares, or fillies. The quaddie kicks off with a 2040 benchmark 100. What have you done to this gala here?
Yeah, no, I've gone for future history. I think this sets up nicely here. It can jump out and get on the pace here. And that was a good win last start. They backed it. It got to the right part of the track, got into the right position. It was a lovely ride. And I think this kind of sets up a very similar type race to that. I think it'll sort of sit up there on the pace again and it'll hit the lead. And I'm not sure that some of these can go past it.
I didn't like that race. I think the race sucked. It had the best run, though, and it may get the best run here. I think it has to be go time for Berkeley Square. It's 2 prep runs, now third up, good gate. Last time it got to this track and distance, it beat Pericles. We've seen how that stacked up over spring. And I think this is it. If it doesn't win this race, I'm not quite sure what it is anymore. So it's on top for me. Might be going a little bit mad, but I've made Young Werther the danger. Finally broken through after 3 years, but that wasn't a bad win and gets in a good spot here, as does Future History, for all the reasons you've said. And I think that's nearly the race, because you can't really touch Gold Trip yet. And what else is there here?
But that's the reason I sort of come back to future history.
No, I do
I
understand that.
couldn't think there was much there, and I just thought it might get the right run.
Yeah, no, absolutely no. Go with yourself there, Beaver. The McEwan Stakes is up next, 1,000-meter Group 3, and a warm-up for the Everest. We do have, is it the Everest favourite? I assume it's the Everest favourite, at least last year's winner, Giga Kick, resuming here. It just doesn't feel like a moral, though. I don't think it's a $1.90 shot. It is susceptible over 1,000 metres. That said, so's Imperatriz, maybe so's Rothfire, so maybe it is. It's on top. I don't like the price, but that seems to be the theme of all these small fields with me. Maybe I've just spent the evening jumping at shadows doing the form. I'm going to go Giga Kick from Imperatriz for the record. Both Beaver bred, actually. So they're kicking some goals in the breeding barn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was a bit the same as you. I thought it was a little bit skinny over the 1,000, and not knowing how the track is going to play. If there is any leader bias, Acromantula is going to be super hard to beat, and I suspect there'll be money come for it. And it flies and going great guns over the 1,000. So you wouldn't leave that out, depending on how the track's playing. If it is playing fair and they can swoop, Giga Kick, I think should be winning.
Yeah. I mean, there's a chance, like Acromantra and Zoo style push forward, there's a chance Rothfire just gets the best run and flukes one with a couple on the way to a $10 million race in a few weeks.
Could do.
Yeah. That's why, I just don't like it might jump $1.50 and win, and I wouldn't be shocked, but doesn't quite feel right to me. The 9th is, I'm not adding much tonight, sorry, mate, but the Feehan Stakes is a free ticket into the Cox Plate over the mile. And I'm a little bit keen here. I think you can skinny this one up. And I'm going to go with the up-and-comer in Globe. Looks a star in the making, bolted in its last few. Trials have been outstanding. Should get a nice run here. I'm hoping pushes forward. My fear is Jamie Carr sits outside lead and somehow gets a beat. But first time up, I think it's going to run well. From Tuvalu, that was a nice resumption, too far back. First up, I think it pushes forward with Globe, so may get a cozy run here, is the clear danger. The only bet I want to have in this race is Goldman. It's 20-1, and this might just be a star. And I don't think a mile's too much of a fear for it. The Waterhouse spot team is absolutely airborne. They had another 5 winners today or something. This is their Melbourne Cup horse. It'll be primed and ready to go. Or maybe the Cox Plate horse. Primed and ready to go. And I think it's a big, big price in this field because I think there's a tail here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, interesting summation there, and you might be right, but it does go to wait for age here. So that'll test it out as well and resuming. And you're probably right. This isn't its main target. I've gone for Globe as well. I think it'll be super hard to beat. Just looks like as you say, a star in the making. Saturday will tell us how good it is. The other, again, Deny Knowledge was very good first up. That was a really strong win. Again, probably jumping up in weight here, so that probably just sets up for Globe just to get dragged into this, and I think that probably points to Globe and Pinstriped. Ultra consistent, only cut less than a couple lengths behind Mr. Brightside. That was a great resumption. When last in work was outstanding. So I've gone for Globe on top, but Pinstriped is the main danger.
And any other horse I want to mention, and it's not necessarily for this race, but I think Forgot You resumed quite well off a year off and hit the line nicely. Maybe one or two more, but yeah, to come back in decent enough order. The last is benchmark 90 over the mile, and it looks a bomb-proof bet here, and it's your horse, Hennessy Lad, because lots of first uppers, lots of stayers, lots of horses going up and down in one spot. You know, it's going to roll across for Heffel, find somewhere on the pace, and be very hard to beat. It's on top from Ain't No Deal Done, who I like the work going into that first up run. Didn't have a full crack at them. Straight to the mile suits it. And First Immortal, a little winner who might be looking for further, but managed to put together a picket fence for us over the winter and might have a bit more upside than we realised at the time. I think they're the only three I'm really entertaining in a quaddie here. What do you think?
Yeah, I've gone for Hennessy Lad again. As you said, horse I have a bit of opinion of. I think it goes well, and I think again this probably sets up quite nicely for it. It can sit right up on the pace here and tuck in. Gate 11's perfect, and yeah, there's a lot of horses here that hard to get keen on. So clear on top for me.
Beautiful. Are you keen on the quaddie at Moonee Valley though, because you're in charge of it?
Yep, I am keen on the quaddie, so let's see what I can come up with for the punters here. I've gone number 3, Young Werther, in the first leg, race 7. Number 7, Berkeley Square. Number 11, Future History. Number 13, Born a King, and number 15, Aaron Bay.
I like those last two in the quaddie too.
In the second leg, race 8, I've gone number 1, Giga Kick. Number 4, Acromantula, and number 5, Imperatrix. In the third leg, which is race 9, I've gone number 7, Pinstriped, number 10, Goldman, number 11, Globe, and number 13, Attrition. And to finish off in the last leg, I've gone number 4, Vardana, number 7, She's Fit, number 10, Hennessy Lad, number 11, Russian Roni, and number 9, Ain't No Done Deal.
Close enough. For progretracing.com.au.
Well done.
what's your best in value on Feehan Stakes Day?
Yep. My best bet comes up in race 5, number 4, Steparty. And my value bet comes up in race 3, number 6, Alor's the Crew.
Yeah, I'm now terrified of all these favourites. So the three bets I want to have on the card, we'll call one the best and the other two value are race 3, number 2, Pachino, race 6, number 6, Molly Knickers, and for the sake of it, my value is race 9, number 10, Goldman. I don't think you'll see 20 to 1 about it for the rest of the preparation. We head to Rosehill, where the rail's in the true. The track is apparently in fantastic order, and the weather is good. Hot day, summer's day in Sydney today. I've just heard some raindrops on the roof, but I don't think it'll be anything to worry about. We're going to have a good day come Saturday, so all systems go for some good racing, which kicks off with some less good racing. 1200 metre midway, benchmark 72. deep field here. The market's in about the right order, and I don't particularly like the race. I end up coming up with Bunker Hut from Ironman. If I'm going to bet, I might have something on Defiant Heart, who's going quite well now, third up, gets a nice run, and potentially Extreme Spirit, who's also going, who's also come back from 3-year-old grade and just might be the fresh horse on the scene. But tricky business to start the day, Beaver. Anything caught your eye?
Yeah, tricky business to start the day. I've gone for number 11 Ironman, just purely based on resuming fresh and got the right draw. I think it can run well.
The second is the Highway, Class 3, 1,400 metres. Who have you found here?
Yeah, sometimes I find these races a bit misleading and hard to get a line on, but Take the Kitty was eye-catching last start. Only got clear late and absolutely flashed home. That was an impressive run. I think it should be super hard to beat with Nash on board and my on topper.
Yeah, I can see the Nash redemption story coming to fruition here. Will make up for missing out. Not that it was completely his fault or anything, but no luck last time out. It gets back towards that winner's stall. It's a two at a value that I entertained at Ollie's Secret. I mentioned it last time out, but comes through some proper Metro stuff, as does Chase the Crown, who comes through chasing Powerful Peg and Cool Die last time out. We've seen how often recently that Metro run back to Highway has produced dividends, and they're the two that caught my eye from that point of view. The third is a 2,400 metre benchmark 78. This is a one horse race here. Too Much Caviar gets the lead from gate one. It was very good last time, just nabbed late by Wineglass Bay. There's no Wineglass Bay in this race. Most of these haven't got the job done anywhere near town, or several hundred k's from town. So it's on top. Best bet of the day, Too Much Caviar. If I'm going to name a danger, it'll be the other Metro horse, which is Yukon.
Same. Couldn't agree with you more. Good summation there. This is an average lot, and Too Much Caviar, gate one, will jump to the front, and they've got to go past it. And these are all strugglers. Maybe you're right. Yukon as a danger, and Casual Connection around 15s could run well.
Mm-hmm. We've got race 4 with 1550 benchmark 78. Who do you like here?
Yeah, tricky race, this one. Really hard. Gracilius Dialer, I can't back. It just is one of those horses that keeps promising to win. Unspoken's resuming here. And some of the other ones down in the market just haven't found form in some time. I've just gone for Vanellope. I think it's probably the easiest field it's started in this time in, and hasn't been far off some horses. King of Naples, Prince of Pessa, who's going really well. So only a couple of lengths off those. Only had the 5 starts. Got Schiller on board, who's going good. Gets the right draw, can run well.
I am going to go with Gracilius Dialer. I feel dirty, but I've put my faith in Nash. All but one last time out chasing Marquez, who we'll talk about in a minute. Before that, just missed behind Ama Victorious. I think it's going well enough. Does need the win. But if there's one jockey who can do that, it is Nash Willer. So I'm putting my faith in him. From Ivan's Hero, who's going pretty well. Has found a bit of form since coming to Sydney. And will run well here. Obviously next best. The one you mentioned, Unspoken, did trial very well. Don't know what gate 1 means for it. So, that's the top 4 from me. The 5th is an 1,800 metre benchmark 78. 2 hopes. The market's right. How Good Are You will lead. It's been very impressive its whole career. It gets a lovely Rosehill set up to do the same again. Marquez is going to camp right on its back. Loses J-Mac, but who got everything out of it to just beat Gracilius style. So we'll get a line on that. But if it has got, and the fact they've gone straight up in distance again suggests that's where they're heading. But if it does have the ability, we suspect it might, it can give this other one a race. I think that's about it. The rest of these we know, and I'm not going to talk about them.
Yep, I think you're right. But I'm going to go for How Good Are You? Going to keep it on top. I think it gets the control, controls the speed here, gets the pull in the weights at 3.5 kilos, and may just be too good to hold off Marquez. nothing much more to add.
Cool. The 12th is 12th. 6 is a 1200 meter Sheraco Stakes group race for the girls. Who have you found here?
Yeah, I'm going for IME. Loved the first up win, backed it off the map, and it won like a horse that's got bigger things in mind, which is races like this. And therefore, I've got it on top. Again, be watching the market. Zapateo resuming, obviously be hard to beat. It's was in fine form last time, went in work, was pretty impressive. And I would probably have a few dollars on Zugochu.
There's a lot of money for it first up. A lot
Yes,
of
it was
money.
a lot of money, and it didn't have a lot of luck there, and it was only doing its best work late in that race there. I think it'll have improved a lot from that run, and so at $11, yeah, worth considering.
Zapateo's been trialling like a rocket, like it did last prep. I would have backed it last week in that remark race, so I have to back it here. On top for me, from Sunshine in Paris, who's spent her life tangling with In Secret. That puts her in the game here. So going to make it the danger. And yeah, as I said, just the amount of money for Zugotcha, either everyone thought there was a trick play or the horse is going particularly well. So I am scared of it tomorrow. But I'm putting my faith in the Godolphin Blue again for the rest of the card almost. So we may as well start now. 1400 meter Ming Dynasty. We kick off with the first of the 3-year-old features over the 1400 meters, and I am going to say that Tom Kitten won that race first up, underdone, and at a trip too short for it. Sets him up well to be straight to 1400. Nash will get it up into the running line, and if we are running on it, we'll go close to winning again. We know what NCAP's done to date. Gate 1 stinks for it. I don't know where it's going to be. It's going to be somewhere 3 or 4 back the fence and be unlucky again. The one that caught my eye, and it might come out, but I thought the price was crazy when I did the form, is Tannhauser. Why is it 20 to 1?
I
Apart
thought
from
the
the
same
fact there's
thing.
no jockey. It's trialled well. Last time out, it started, was it favourite in the Group 1? Started $4.80 favourite in the Group 1 and ran well. Before that,
Yeah.
absolutely bolted in at Roundwick. He's kicked off straight at the 1400 metres. I couldn't work out the price for it, apart from the fact that I assume JMac was booked and I need to find another rider sometime in the next day or two. So it is clearly the main danger for me.
Yeah, I had the same. I couldn't believe the price of Tannhauser as well at 20s. I thought, can't let that get under your guard. But Tom Kitten, just hoping it's not just a fresh horse, but it did win second up last time when in work. But yeah, it seemed to have something in hand last start. Gate 14 here means it does probably get in the running line as long as if it's 3 wide, it gets cover. But yeah, stepping out here to 1400, it's got a good finish and it'll be hard to hold out.
Beautiful. The 8th is the Run to the Rose, another group race over 1200 metres. What do you think of Cylinder first up, Beaver? Is it a bit, or are you sticking?
It was okay, but I don't think it was ready to go.
Okay.
And it still won. It was 5 months off. I thought it stuck on okay. Probably would have expected more, but that doesn't worry me a great deal. I think it wins this. This isn't an overly strong race. Outside of, I think Libertad obviously has got some ability and can run well. And the other one I think you got to look out for is the resuming Militarize. I think around 15s can run well as well.
I agree. And let's start just to militarize. It's a top horse. This is a proper Group 1 horse. Apart from nearly falling in the Golden Slipper, hasn't run a bad race. Again, it's $15 here. I know the Wallace Stable isn't one to win before grand finals sometimes. This is a serious horse, and the fact it's $16, I have to have something on it. From Libertad, who I'm going with the lead up there, I think that it's the project horse for the Neesham Stable now, and might be better than I originally gave it credit for. Cylinder's an obvious chance. They might back this, and they might absolutely back this and be ready to go and blow them away. But I just have a feeling maybe some of the other, teenagers have grown up a little bit and caught up with it. But that's how I've seen this. This is a midweek race otherwise. Nothing else?
Nothing else,
Okay.
mate. I'm
The
listening and taking it all in, mate.
1,300 metres.
I love the summation.
1,300 metres. Theo Marks is the other feature on the card, Group 2. And the money's come for it here. But I've been stumping up for Argentia. It's come back in good order this prep. Now, third up, Joe Pride play. Nice running. It's a map to 1-1, according to Racing New South Wales. And it's now third up where a lot of these are resuming. This is go time for it. It's on top for me. From Tamerlane, who might get a cosy lead there, just tucking either keeping crosstalk out or tucking in on its back. And at $10, I think can run you a nice race here. Don't know what to do. Didn't know what to do with Golden Mile after being a bit disappointing after nearly going through the fence first up. So I'm going to just predominantly play around a 9 and a 10 here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I went away from those shorter ones in the market. I think there's a few horses resuming here at a bit of a price that can run well. The first one of those is Crosstalk, $14, gate 14 at about $10 plus dollars. Flies first up. It's 1-3 out of 4 with a placing. Strawn gate 14, so there's no doubt it's going to come across and burn across. 1,300, maybe it tests it first up, but I know one thing for sure, it's going to be in front of the 200. It's just whether it's far enough. So I think it could run well. A couple of other horses of Waterford resuming as well. I think it can run well. It's got some good form in some pretty decent races. Runs well fresh as well. So I think it can put a good run in, and the inevitable resuming. Also around the sort of $12, $13. I think it goes well fresh as well. And in an open race, I'm kind of looking for that wider market, sort of the $10 plus range.
No, fair enough too. We're going to wrap up with an 1,100 metre benchmark 88. And I must have dreamt that I saw $4.20 red card when I did the form, but it doesn't look like it's there now. Who do you like?
I know who you like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Smashing Eagle.
Okay.
I just 2 starts back was outstanding. Beat Casablanca, and then last start didn't get a lot of luck, and it flashed home. 1,100 does worry me. I would have been happy if it was 1,200, but it's got gate 5. I hope they sit a little bit closer, and it gets 6 kilos from the favourite here, and the right draw. So just hoping that might give it the edge over red card, who, for obvious reasons, will run well. It's a good little horse, and that's why I've got it.
There's 2 hopes in this race. One's going to lead and the other's going to be somewhere at the back. That's Red Card and Airman. So Red Card on top gets control and should win from Airman, who is a nice horse resuming. Comes back to Sydney. Don't know where it's headed, but more than capable of winning this race. Blinkers go on extremely lucky and Nash goes on extremely lucky, which to me suggests the Waller stable might not know what they're doing with it because everything's been thrown at it straight away. At its best, can blow this field away. It was not at its best first up and maybe doesn't have a Sydney best. But red card on top to finish at A clearly from me. For ProGetRacing.com.au, I'm going to give you the quaddie at Rosehill. If I can find it here. First leg will go number 1, Tannhauser. Number 3, Tom Kitten. 5, NCAP. 6, Sealwolf. And 12, Congregation. Second leg, 1, Militarize. 2, Cylinder. 3, Libertad. 5, Chrysaor. He's resuming off a Group 1. And 8, Moravia, who wasn't bad through the line there. Third leg, 3, Kovalika. 4, Nugget. 9, Argentia. 10, Tamerlane. If you're a Beaver fan, you may, of course, throw crosstalk in. And let's come home with 3, Extremely Lucky. 4, Red Card. And 11, Airman. $100 gets you a third of the dividend, 33 and a bit %. For progretracing.com.au, I'm going to make my best on the card. Where are we here? Race 3, number 1, Too Much Caviar, and my value is race 7, number 1, Militarize. What have you made of the day here?
Yep, my best bet is race 5, number 9, How Good Are You? And my value bet comes up in race 9, number 8, Crosstalk.
Beautiful. Have we got anything up north tomorrow?
Of course we have, given that the Beaver got 3 from 3
You did.
on Wednesday,
And
yesterday.
Squire was, as you said, a very nice price, and I partook in said price.
Well, there you go, mate. Glad you did. Race 1, number 8, Outlawed. I think it can run really well. Hard to beat. Then we get further into the day. And my other bets come up in the last 2 races. Race 8, number 9, La Melody. I think it can run really well. And race 9, number 2, Space Boy.
Excellent.
$8.
Beauty. Just won at Kembla tomorrow. Race 5, number 1, Bobby Shiraz is resuming there. I think that is a suitable kickoff point for it. And a couple tomorrow because on Friday because I did a bit of form and the article didn't make it up. Race 7 at Mornington, number 1, Italian Informant, is debuting down in Melbourne. I think it's going to run well at a price. And race 6, number 1, Rhythm of Love, should break its maiden at Goldman. A couple there for you just to build the bank. What else is down there? Race 5. The other thing of Snowden is there. Race 5, whatever the Snowden horse is in race 5. I've forgotten his name now.
What was your one in Mornington? Race 7?
Italian Informant.
Okay, gotcha.
Cool. Actually, a couple of nice ones kicking today off too, actually. New Zealand debutante. Gate 1's are concerned, but number 8, Samurai in race 3. And race 6, number 2, Norwegian Joy. There you go. There's 4 for tomorrow, Beaver. Give them strength.
Look at you go. No worries. I'll be following those closely, mate.
Good luck. And good luck to everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Check out progretracing.com as we power towards the Melbourne Cup Carnival in November. And we'll be back next Tuesday to preview the Wednesday meetings. And we'll do it all again next Thursday night. Thanks, guys. See you soon.